Alright, welcome back to this shit show. I'll be doing some writing after this. Just finished dinner and ow, my canker sore. Oh fuck, oh yeah, it's under my tongue, you see? So I'm talking like this again. How long has it been since my last canker sore? I noticed it happening 3 days ago, but I couldn't see it. But now it's clearly visible where my canker sore is. And wow, it's annoying. Anyway, I am going to be playing more of this. I actually started a new game and see if that'll do anything. If it still starts glitching up, then that settles it, you know? I'm done with this. But for now, I've actually gotten really lucky and really good. I added a bonus rule that makes the game a bit more tolerable. In the Great Plateau, I have guardians and mini-boss spawning turned off, but once I handle some key checkpoints, those being beating the getting access to outside of the Great Plateau, and then for every Divine Beast I beat, I add something new. So after the Divine Beast, I enable guardians, all the guardians spawning, and mini bosses, except for the Molduga, since they're considered experimental as well. And yeah, they certainly crash the game, from my experience. I've already seen that, and yeah, I'm right here, and I actually somehow managed to get myself a fucking special horse right away. I guess I can say it now in this Let's Play. Yeah. Her name is Reflect. It's a girl. I named her Reflect because she has blue skin and reminds me of Blue Reflection Ray. Or Blue Reflection. You know, that game. Anyway, I was saving the twist right up until the very end, but notice how I never gave any gender pronouns to Ladylike. I was always making sure to call him by his name. And that's because, yeah, that's supposed to be a big twist. Ladylike is a guy. Oh my god, you're annoying. I guess I can tell you my hero's path. Since you've missed out on 2 hours of gameplay. Give or take. But so far, this is my progress. And there we go. I start off. I die a couple of times. There was a Lionel, it was nighttime. It had electric weapons, I wanted it. So I kept trying, but eventually it just despawned. So I just kept going, and the rest of the plateau went by smoothly. Obviously, I still died lots of times, but mostly that was due to my own mistakes. But it wasn't frustrating. Thankfully, obviously, because there weren't any guardians all over. And that was my fault, and the game didn't crash. So far, I haven't died yet. And yeah, I was able to snag myself a good horse because I decided to go for more stamina rather than more health. Unlike last time, I didn't get a key, so I can't open this. And I actually got myself a barbarian leg wrap. So I have extra attack right now, which is amazing. Random chests are freaking bullshit. The extra 10% isn't much anyway, but you know, it's something. Ooh, that spear will be useful. Very, very useful. Dang it, neither a key or a teleporter. What am I gonna get rid of though? This thing's almost dead anyway. May as well. I was gonna use it to kill a Talus. I'm just gonna drop it. It's a waste of space. They really had the intended solution for us to use the stairs and carry this all around while avoiding those stalkers when we can just do this. Hey, come on. Zelda devs, what were you thinking when you designed this? Who designed this dungeon? Who were the people behind it? And why are they so condescendingly stupid? Should the Master Sword also be a checkpoint? I think 5 minutes is too fast. You got a lot of weapons and all your weapons have a lot of durability anyway. I think it's fine if the Master Sword remains having a 10-minute cooldown. The cooldown isn't a big deal, it's just a long waiting time in the base game, but in here where time is really important, the 10-minute timer is a bit more dangerous. But since it's just 5 minutes, you basically have 5 minutes where you have to worry about your weapons. And then after that you can just spam your Master Sword. Because it has once again triple durability just like all the other weapons. And it just trivializes things. Oh no, I'm not fighting that. Like, probably should have kept that. Sledgehammer. The Stylus give lots of money. God damn it. I am recording, right? I'm trying to maximize my efficiency, even though I know for a fact that what's causing the crashes isn't my fault. It is purely the fact that Dark Army Resurrection was coded by a Spanish person who clearly is doing something that's way too out of their league. But you know, that's programming in a nutshell. Frustratingly enough. Anyway, I want this tower. I also reduced my inventory size by a lot. Don't use a bomb barrel on you, because you're a bastard. That's another thing I got. No. I forgot about that. I got thunder arrows. Hell yeah. Everything's just going so well right now. I hope me saying that isn't foreshadowing of some kind. And I got a key. Which can only be a good thing. Random enemies have been set to really low, and so far, yeah, there really aren't all that many, which is nice. But at the same time, if a guardian stalker dares to show up, I'm basically screwed because I don't have any shields to auto-deflect. I'm pretty reliant on those because my timing really hold up. You can't hurt me. Oh, yep, I knew it. Are they gonna come back to life? I'll get rid of this. Ah, there you go. Continue using the spills actually since I have a surf or something. There we go. Not dead. Fuck. Oh god. Okay, I have the reach advantage. Ha ha ha. Alright. These are good weapons. Whip sword. I guess it'll be useful for now. This is a really bad checkpoint actually. Hopefully I won't ever need to use it. The dragon farming is obviously out of the question. So I'm just gonna be getting some bananas and durians. And then we're gonna pay a visit to all our favorite places that we know for a fact are very glitchy. From experience. Let's see if starting a new save file has helped any. I've disabled all of my other graphics mods, apart from Linkle, as well as the few mods I have that aren't actually standalone armors and just graphical thingies. So let's hope that'll help. .48 is a surprisingly nice FPS to play on. I rarely get 48 FPS, but it's super nice. Most of the time though, I'm just slightly above 30 FPS, which is still also really nice. Maybe I'll pick up my hardcore world again after this or something. 'Cause I want a nice chunky survival experience. It's difficult. Those are my favorite that's my favorite thing to do during the weekends now, apparently. Fantabulous. Ooh, there's a shrine with a guardian. I should try beating that. That'll be useful. Holy shit, that's a Lionel. Maybe I shouldn't have enabled all bosses immediately like I did. Maybe it would have been more interesting. I'll increase the spawn rate to medium on the 4th. I don't actually know what to do in between the rest of the... I got away. Anyway, I don't think this guardian has a shield. Regardless, guardian weapons will still be very useful. Is this a Korok seed? Wow, I've never found this Korok seed before. Again, I have found all Korok seeds in the Great Plateau before. So anything I find there is something I've already found before. Let's see what you got, buddy, old buddy pal. Oh, it's a sword and a shield. Fantastic. I got it. Yeah, aiming is really difficult with this zoomed out camera for Alright, now I have a bit of a better offense and defense. Against the Guardians. So that's good. Bows and arrows remain very difficult to find. Always use chest keys, you never know when you'll die or a blood moon will show up and ruin your day. The Blood Moon timer should be 30 minutes by now. The timer sits at around every 800 minutes, isn't it? Of playtime. Not sure whether or not it counts time inside shrines and stuff though. I don't remember. Oh boy, night time. Oh! We're retreating. Jesus. just wanted a Korok seed. Oh, thank you. I'll eat it right away. I don't think any other weapons were worth taking. High risk, low reward. That's what these style encounters in the night are supposed to be. Oh well, I got the thing, and I did get a key. Which I can use for this. Ah. Is it raining or something? Why did it suddenly get so foggy? I need a new ice rod. Ooh, a red soul! Yeah, no, y'all fucked. Oh wow, I actually got it. And actually know what country the person who made this mod lives in. I can be sure though that his English is very terrible. Really? Oh, we made it. Let's go get our bananas and durians. Gotta be a better way.
This video contains flashing lights that may affect viewers with photosensitive epilepsy. Viewer discretion is advised. Mega Man 2's world record speedrun is one of the most prestigious on the NES. For nearly 2 decades, it's had a lively competitive scene, with world record holders polishing their skills to see who beat it quickest. It requires precision and finger speed that would even make Mike Tyson proud. Because the speed on Mega Man 2 at the top level, after all, walls are just suggestions and ceilings are figments of our imagination. This is the story of how speedrunners broke Mega Man 2. This is the history of Mega Man 2 All Records. TatoSock 500 was the fastest internet server in the world. He was the hardest That all changed one day in September 2022. His arch rival, SuperBoodle25, hacked his data and stole his IP address. And just like that, TatoSock's record breaking came to an end. He should have been using NordVPN. By going to nordvpn.com/summoningsalt and getting a huge discount off the 2-year plan plus 4 free months, TatoSock could have encrypted his internet usage and hidden his IP address from SuperBoodle. He could have been surfing the internet with a protected connection and guarded his coveted world record. To avoid a costly mistake like TatoSock made, get the best NordVPN deal on the internet. Thanks again to NordVPN, my channel's first sponsor. Please go check out nordvpn.com/summoningsalt. Your support really goes a long way. So, where do we begin? The early history of Mega Man 2's world record is an enigma to uncover. In the mid-2000s, people completed runs both with and without video proof, on different versions of the game, and with different movesets. At certain points in time, what would be considered the true world record was ambiguous, and to this day, putting together an accurate timeline is quite difficult. Yet, through all that, there's one run that's pretty unanimously considered to be the first world record. Year was 2004. The runner was Richard Ureta, and his final time was 30 minutes and 39 seconds. In Mega Man 2, you're presented with 8 stages to complete in any order. Ureta decided to start with Airman. He precisely jumped on the lips of blocks to avoid slowing down. You only have about a 4-pixel window to do so, and risked dying from this jump. He then had to slowly ride up the clouds to the stage, and on the boss fight, used the Mega Booster to take down Ureta then played Quickman stage. He repeatedly rode item 2 to quickly skip through long corridors. Quickman himself has a random pattern, but Ureta once again took him down nicely with the Mega Booster. Next up was Flashman, where Airman's weapon was used on larger enemies, and item 2 helped him skip over the last room. On Metal Man stage, Ureta froze time with Flashman's weapon so he could run through without the spikes falling on him. He also jumped forward on the conveyors moving against him, so he wouldn't be pushed back. Item 2 was utilized once again, although he had to carefully maneuver around spawning enemies. On the boss fight, he used quick boomerangs, which is Metal Man's weakness. With 4 Robot Masters down, and Metal Man's overpowered weapon required, Ureta went into Bubble Man stage. The shrimp and fish are quite weak to metal bullets, so Ureta was able to jump up and shoot them down to quickly clear a path ahead. Similar to how a casual player would get through the stage, the key difference is that Ureta never stopped running. He precisely maneuvered and barely let go of right on the D-pad. On Heatman stage, Ureta once again jumped from column to column without slowing down. He used item 2 to cross the lava gap later on, and used Bubble Beam on Heatman. Heat has random delays between shots, but since it only takes 3 bubbles to kill him, they are hard to pass at all. More on those delays. Then next is Crash Damage. This stage is filled with ladders that you normally have to slow fall.
Holy shit!
However, if you place down the item
Oh!
while you're
Oh!
climbing up the ladder,
Why? What did I do to you?
Save them from life. Ureta also used that one advantage by letting him bypass ladder sections altogether, and avoid having to ride on the slow stairs. And finally, Ureta's most known as Ureta. He cut himself with the red dog in the water. After charging the shock of the blow, Wily 1 is similar to Crash Man stage in that there are several ladders you have to climb. Ureta used both both Item 1 and Item 3 to help, then mashed quickly for a Dragon Boss. In Wily 2, Yoretta shot with Leaf Shield to protect against projectiles before force. They randomly drop health and ammo, which are bad weapons since they slow you down in the field. Wily 3 is the easiest Wily stage. The only tough part is at the end, you have to jump up and mash through the as possible. The final three Wily stages are perhaps the most important in the entire run. Wily 4 features an enormous sequence of ladders at its start. With several careful Item 3 placements, Yoretta was able to quickly traverse his way to the top while barely slowing down. Then, you have 4 spike screens together. Normally, you're supposed to ride around on the conveyor and dodge enemies. But Richard Yoretta had other ideas. The first room, he took damage and used iframes to barely make it across the spikes. Third room, he used Item 2 to get iframes. And in the fourth room, he used Item 1 to just barely push the conveyor early and make it to the exit. In Wily 5, you refight the robots. Yoretta used each boss's weakness against them, meaning most fights were completed in a matter of seconds. For the stage boss, he used Metal Blade to clear through the first phase, and then a Crash Bomb he had saved from the Wily 4 boss. And finally, there was Wily 6. For the stage itself, you just walk through the entrance over. The alien boss is another story. You have to hit him with 14 buttons. When you make contact with him, known as hugging the alien, he tanks your health. Yoretta's strategy was to get hit by a projectile, then use the iframes to briefly mash Bubble Beam as fast as he could. He avoided hugging the alien, and closed out the run at 30:39. And with that, Mega Man 2 had its first world record. It was a solid run with few big mistakes, but at the end of the day, wasn't that far removed from pristine casual playthrough. Yoretta was obviously much more skilled than the casual player, and tricks like damage were fun. But running through the stages and obliterating the bosses with the isn't necessarily that difficult. For the next couple of years, there would be little activity. But then, the timeline starts to get tricky. See, Mega Man 2 lets you play on either normal or difficult mode. Difficult mode means enemies take more shots to kill, particularly bosses. Yoretta's run was on normal mode, since it's faster than difficult mode. But in late 2006, a vibrant speedrunning community for the game would form in Japan. There, the game is known as Rockman 2, and it has one distinct difference. It defaults to difficult mode, with no option to change it. You'd think that would mean it's slower than Mega Man 2, but text cutscenes take significantly less time in Rockman 2. So much less time that it ends up being a wash with the time lost for playing on the mode. So, Rockman 2 and Mega Man 2 runs are comparable in time, but Rockman 2 is considered the more challenging speedrun. And after a series of improvements in 2007, despite playing on a more difficult version of the game, a runner from Japan named Lambda would beat Yoretta's run by over a minute. Lambda saved
Wait,
time
I never
just
activated the
about
Baron Tower?
despite bosses taking much longer. A lot of it came from just being a big cleaner everywhere. Fewer small mistakes and tighter execution. This added up.
Oh no, wait, that's... God dang
In
it.
Wily 4, you can see how more item replacements and faster movement saved Lambda significantly time. In all, this run felt like less of an expert's casual playthrough and more like a polished speed, boosted by the fact that you played on a more difficult version of the game. In 2008, a runner named Hoshi set another string of records, specifically taking it down to 29:15. He saved about 3 seconds in Bubble from fewer knockbacks, and about 4 in Clash from better item replacement on ladders. Together, Lambda and Hoshi had taken Rockman 2 to the next level. This was just 2008, yet their speedruns were optimized to let most games
Oh.
look series. The
Why did I pick you up?
And one rule from PureCast stated that auto fire was allowed, meaning you could hold down the button and fire your weapon up to 30 times per second. This made some sections of the game easier, like killing enemies without slowing down, and it made some sections impossibly fast, like the alien fight in Wily 6, which normally takes 28 shots to kill in Rockman 2. But still, their run certainly shouldn't be dismissed. It's estimated that autofire only saved them about 20 seconds. The rest of the difference came from better strategies and execution. So while it's a little tricky to say how Lambda and Yoshi's runs fit into the timeline, it's safe to say that they were by far the best executed Rockman 2 speedruns of their era. Now, about 2 weeks after Yoshi's 2915, the run would once again be lowered by 10 seconds. A 2905 on the North American version of the game, by a runner in 7 minutes. But there's something a bit different about this run. See, prior speedruns of the game were submitted between Galaxies and PureCast.
Really?
Prohibited use of glitches. Seth Glass was submitting to Speed Demo's archive, so he was free to use whatever glitches he wanted. Boy, did he ever use them. Item 1 rises to the top of the screen and allows you to ride it between your head and the ceiling. However, it doesn't actually check for you. Instead, item 1 detects if it's below the ceiling and then disappears once it's a certain distance away. So, if you place item 1 rather than 3 away from the ceiling, but stay on the edge so Mega Man is below 1, you'll get pushed into it. Item 1 never respawns. How does the game respond to Mega Man being? Well, he faces to the left. Check saves to the right. Ceiling glitches have been known in Mega Man 2 for many years, but a tool-assisted speedrunner named Final Fighter was the first to really explore them in He discovered several zips all across the run after 2004. Many of which Seth Glass would use this run 4 years later.
Wow, look at this.
Game, which he borrowed from the task, was to start with Flashman, so he could obtain items. Then, in Heatman stage, he performed the first zip. By placing an item before touching the bottom of the ladder, then re-grabbing the ladder, he could jump down the ladder and place it right in the sea. You need to face left.
Jesus Christ, nature.
But moving left causes Mega Man to fall out of the wall. So, Glass did what's called an A-trigger. By jumping while stuck in the ceiling, Mega Man lands, cannot move, and force. So,
Proton should make a video on how weather works
Mega Man zips
one of these days.
Seth Glass had a 15-second deployment, which he could escape.
Fun fact, I used to do Cryonis in reverse. What I mean is I would set up pillars ahead of time rather than doing it like this. And that caused problems, needless to say.
Then enter quick stage. He places 2 item 1s down so he can jump up and enter this teammate. To initiate the stage, Glass this time by placing an item 1 in the wall, Mega Man
Let me demonstrate. So I would do it like this. The problem with doing it like that is once I got to the third pillar and I still needed to place some more pillars, I would fall down the moment I placed a new Cryonis.
Runners on speed demos archive were thrilled to see a run of the game in Zips. But truth be told, there were still moments where we could have better options. For the next year, multiple faster times will be set. The timeline of the official world record is problematic. In early 2009, Fushi would get a couple runs in the high 28 range, but without autofire, they wouldn't have been faster than the last two. April, a runner named Mega Destructor 9 set a time of 28.42. But as the months passed, the timeline became a bit weaker. Over the next couple of years, the record received rapid improvement as players implemented more and more tips. In December 2009, a runner named NOU1 got a 28.30 on Rockman 2 without using autofire. It stood for a few months, until Seth Glass came back and set a series of records on normal mode, ultimately getting a run that clocked in at 27.51. This was a legendary record. It was posted to Speed Demo's archive and became one of the most popular runs on the site. His 27.51 would go on to inspire a new generation of Mega Man 2 runners, and stands to this day as a benchmark for high-level runners in the areas. It would only remain as the world's fastest run for about 10 months, when a runner named Remo was on Rock. Only at 10 shots per second. This is well within the rate at which humans can run the match, so it's not thought to be of any significant damage. In fact, he actually played it Remo played on the which has a slower frame rate than the and about 9 seconds over the course of the run. But Remo was off
No!
because in March of 2011, all of the new zips and all of the new tricks that had been slowly implemented in the preceding runs came together in a legendary performance by NOU1. This was by far the best run of Rockman 2 ever completed. NOU1 would achieve a time of 27.
Oh, fuck that power, I'm getting out of here.
Record that would stand for years. The first three stages of this run, Flash, Heat, and Air, were all similar to previous records. However, the new antics began, Flashbang stage, where NOU1 performed a zip that looked like this. It looks complicated, but behind the scenes it's a bit more straightforward. See, you don't actually need to climb up this
There is
ladder
a big
to
moon.
get to the next screen. If you do a horizontal zip, the game will take you there just the same. When you move into the ceiling, you activate a horizontal zip that moves Mega Man forward several screens. When you move to the next screen, the game shows the screen Mega Man is actually on, before snapping back to normal. This comparison by Misquit shows what's actually happening. You then simply walk to the right to get through the next few screens, while the game shows you just walking around. Finally, you fall down where there's a ladder, and since it's done when the screen is horizontally aligned, it has the same effect as dying by falling.
Hey, there's a luminous stone there.
The game then respawns you.
That's also where the dark armor is.
And by releasing an atomic fire
On them
shot
at least.
when you die, the game runs through your teeth faster.
Which isn't the case.
Flashbang Zip was first seen in
In this mod.
38 and was executed to perfection in 27. Also first seen in 2838 was a second zip on quick main stage. After falling at the start, you could place the item once down, use the A trigger in the ceiling, and zip past the wall. Unfortunately, the lights turn off, since the light switch responsible for turning it back on never spawns. That means you have to do a quick laser section of the stage to memorize exactly where the button is and exactly when to jump off. It's doable with a lot of practice. It's one of the most impressive also means you have to do both the leader zip and the boss fight start as well. Once again, and then stage. Next up is Woodland, a stage that was overhauled starting in 7.2751 to Ramos 2748. First, there was the dog schools. By going into the ceiling where the dogs spawn, you can do a B trigger and zip to the end of the screen. This needs to be repeated on each of the next screens. You must be careful to not overzip, but it allows you to skip past the dogs. Just a screen later, you perform a trick called Good Wood. It looks like a good test, but in reality, it works just like the Clash Man tip in that the screen gets offset where Mega Man actually is. Visuals from Duckfist show what's really going on. You perform multiple zips and navigate through the stage while being careful not to fall off. Some of these moves take a large amount of precision, like grabbing an invisible ladder in midair. There's too much going on to concisely explain here, but eventually you're able to zip and fall to your death late enough in the stage that you respawn at the boss wall. With so many moving parts, it's an incredibly difficult trick, but it lets you skip over much of the stage. Once again, NOU 1 Pink. And finally, there were the vertical wraps. By getting partially stuck in the wall at the top of the screen, the next screen triggers, but Mega Man stays at the top. This should save you from having to play through explosively. It's used at times in the Bookend zip, but is also used in both ID1 and the first half of ID1. All these tricks, lines and NOU1 was able to finish at 27. This was a monster world record. Japan had a vibrant roster for years, and after thousands of attempts from numerous different runners, this run seemed to be the final product. Runners from the Western speedrunning community looked on with awe. Nobody there was close to beating. The next 2 years, this 2721 was unparalleled at the top. Around the time that NOU1's record was set, a new runner began playing the game. He'd do attempts off and on for the next couple of years, improving his skills but still getting far from the world record. But in August 2013, after returning from a break, he decided to attempt what no runner had done for the past 2.5 years. Make a push for the world record. His name? Cypher. Cypher's idea was to implement several hybrids and tasks at the same time. This was a risky move. Although these tricks had the potential to be faster, Cypher knew he would lose a lot of runs going through them. The biggest one was the task bar. By going for the zip on the first screen instead of the second, you could save up to 10 seconds. A huge amount of time to optimize the run. But it is tough. You have to very precisely place 2 and 1 in the right spot, and zip multiple times in the span of a few seconds. There's practically no margin for error, but even with a low level of consistency, Cypher felt the time save was worth it. Other new tricks included a short zip in Metal Man, and a zip with item 2 in Bubble Man. Combined, these could save up to about 4 seconds. And in Wily 4, he went for a trick called the Extended Ceiling Zip, where you wait out Mega Man's stuck state from item 3, and press down on the next screen to put high into the ceiling and zip further than normal. A trick found by a runner. These were really difficult strategies, but Cypher was committed to going for them. His consistency wasn't amazing, and he struggled to get a clean run. By October 2013, he was still nearly a minute off the world record. He would need to shave off 55 seconds to beat NOU1. It would take a miracle to get all that in one run, right? Cypher had just cut a full minute off his personal best. It had taken months of grinding, but he was the new Rockman 2 record. This run wasn't without its mistakes, however. Some of his sim setups were slow, particularly in Metal Man and Woodman. And while he won, he had missed a vertical wrap altogether.
That becomes important.
Task Flash made up for all that. It was still a record by multiple seconds. Now, NOU1's record stood for more than 2.5 years. How long would Cypher's record be on top? Well, about 6 weeks. Meet Shoka. In December 2013, a runner named Shoka would take 9 seconds off the world record. It was once again performed on Rockman 2. By this point, virtually all top-level competition was on Rockman 2 rather than Mega Man 2, a trend that has continued to this day. Shoka went for the incredibly improved Task Flash, but skipped some of the smaller time saves, like the bottom Metal Man 2. It was overall a very consistent, balanced speedrun, with fewer obvious mistakes than Cypher's. Shoka once again used 10 Hz auto-fire as permitted in Japanese communities at the time, but just as before, it's not thought to have given him any significant advantage. The record was starting to get close to a big barrier, a sub-27. To get there, someone would have to save 9 seconds over Shoka's run. Is that possible? Well, there were a few seconds to save from a cleaner Flash sim, and a few in Metal from the Extra Sim and a cleaner stage. The largest time save potential came from the boss.
A save point.
Specifically, we're going to look at Heatman, the biggest potential RNG swing. After every shot you hit him with, Heatman
I don't know this area.
3 random delays. 31 frames, 62 frames, or 93 frames. They're commonly rounded to 30, 60, and 90 frames. Each delay has a roughly equal chance of occurring. In speedruns, players buffer jumps so they don't have to react to the delay.
I'm in Hateno.
One jump into 3 delay, 2 into 60, and 3 into 90. In Rockman 2, Heatman takes 14 Mega Buster shots to kill him, meaning there are 13 rolls of the dice for what delay you'll get. An average pattern has the same number of 30 delays as 90 delays. Something like 4 30s, 5 60s, and 4 90s. Shoka's 2708 got great RNG. 7 30s, 3 60s, and 3 90s. That leads to an obvious question. What's the best fight anyone's ever gotten? That honor goes to a guy named who got this unbelievable fight. Out of 13 delays were 30s. Odds of 1 in 50,000. In theory, you could get 13 out of 13, but it may never happen. The odds of it are nearly 1 in 1.6 million. The potential for better RNG, combined with some mistakes Shoka made, meant Cypher had a few seconds to save. Added together with time saves elsewhere, and that left enough room for a sub-27. But the road for Cypher would be long. His personal best was still 27:17, meaning he was 18 seconds away. Surely, he wouldn't be able to get there all in one go again, right? On July 9th, 2014, Cypher entered the last stage on a remarkable run, putting him on pace for a 27:01. There was a little bit of time to save on Wily 6. If he got a fast setup into the ceiling and didn't have to wiggle to enter the door, he would save time over his split. The question was, would it be enough for sub-27? Cypher just 2 seconds from his goal. As you can tell, Cypher had mixed reactions to this. On the one hand, he had gotten the world record by 7 seconds. On the other hand, he had just missed his goal time. Where had it gone wrong? Well, he got a mediocre pattern on He-Man, so he didn't gain any time there. He also lost a bit of time in Wily 2 from some unlucky drops. His biggest mistake was in Wily 4, where he missed a vertical wrap to lose 5 seconds. That mistake alone cost him a 26.56.
I can find my armor from here, actually.
Was the difference between another 27-minute run and the world's first 26. So, Cypher knew he had to keep going. It had taken just 3 weeks of attempts to get to 27:01. He was prepared to continue. A run with just 1 fewer mistake, with just a bit better luck, could be enough to get to 26. Any attempt could be the one. It wasn't happening. Weeks passed with no new record. Then months passed. Cypher's personal best remained at 27:01. And then, in February 2015, Cypher announced his retirement from speedrunning. He felt that it was taking up too much time and wanted to focus his attention elsewhere. Cypher's legacy would remain, however. Over the years, Cypher entertained thousands with his runs, and together with Shoka, took the record down right to the limit of the 27-minute mark. But he didn't quite achieve his goal. The Cypher era of Rockman 2 had come to an end, without his sub-27.
Very good. Can't do Flurry yet, so for now we're getting out of here. I still want more durians. Pharaon is too dangerous, but luckily we have an alternative.
This was quite a situation Elo found himself in. On pace for a 26.55, with 1 stage to go. Who was this guy? Well, Elo had started running the game in 2013, and started a steady march of improvements. He stayed well behind Shoka and Cypher's records, but throughout 2014, the gap got smaller. Finally, by November, he was within striking distance. His skill level was on par with Cypher's, and he started doing sub-27 attempts. This had been a great run through Wily 3, cleaning up the mistakes that Cypher made. The pacing part started in Wily 4. Elo hit everything, including his own extended ceiling zone, leading to a gold split. And thanks to beautiful luck and execution in Wily 5, he got his second gold split in a row, the fastest he had ever completed 2 post-important stages in a run. It led to him being 6 seconds ahead of the record into Wily 6. But there's one other aspect of Elo's game we haven't talked about yet. Elo is an incredible button masher. He can mash at 16 presses per second. 10 hertz on fire would be a huge disadvantage to him. This comes into play in a few spots, like the Dragon in Wily 1, but nowhere is it more important than on the Alien in Wily 6. Alien starts on the right, then moves in a figure-8 pattern around the screen. Your goal is to hit him 28 times by the time he leaves the right side the second time. If not, you lose 2 seconds. Even for top runners, this can sometimes go wrong, since you can only hit him when he's low enough and you have to worry about punching him. But Elo was better at this than the game. And after entering the core in Wily 6, he of 27. For the first time ever, Rockman 2 is beaten under 27 minutes. As celebration poured in across the community, Elo seemed to be in a state of shock. He'd snap out of it quickly though, and spent the next several months working on other specific projects. All the while, his 2657 remained the only run under the 27-minute barrier. He had no challengers for his record. They remained on top well into 2015. But was it a perfect run? Of course not. There were a couple times where he stopped short and had to do a lot of it. And our quick man, he got a bad pattern and had to waste several seconds waiting for an extra flash bomb to explode. Part of the problem with the run was the Task Flash, the hardest trick in the game. Elo successfully created the 2657, but a majority of his runs that made it there failed the trick and had to be restarted. That meant the overall quality of his run suffered. There was no point forcing him to the run, so a lot of potentially good speed runs never saw light of day. But Task Flash saved 10 seconds. You couldn't just skip it if you wanted record. Enter the Big Boy. Back in 2012, the Big Boy found an alternate version of Task Flash where you went to the right at the start to place item 1, instead of climbing up right away. It wasn't paid much attention to at the time, but it was actually a significantly easier method of doing the trick, since it reduced the precision of your inputs overall. It did lose a second and a half, but that would easily be worth not having to reset as often. The trick would go on to be nicknamed Biggie in honor of its creator. So, when Elo came back to runs in August 2015, he did Biggie instead of Task Flash. For a few months, it didn't necessarily seem to be paying off. No records, and many runs dying to the last Wily stages. But on October 22nd, Elo had a fantastic heat fight. 830s, 460s, and just one night. That put him 3.5 seconds ahead of the record, so even when he lost time going for Biggie, he was still easily on pace. With a clean quick stage, faster vertical laps and Wily won, he was nearly 6 seconds ahead. But that Negro road was strong final 4 splits. He lost a bit in Wily 3 for bad luck, and had slow, quick, and flash fights in Wily 5. But a slight lead still remained, and after some incredible mashing on the alien, it was enough to take the record 1 second lower. 1 year to lower the record 1 second. That's how tough Rockman 2 runs were becoming. It took months for even the best player in the world to get a record improvement. Who could say how long the next record would take? The very next day, Elo was a couple seconds ahead going into the refights. Wily 5's boss refights is one of the most random parts of the game. The biggest points of variance are quick, air, and heat. Quickman has random high jumps and boomerang throws that can use time. Airman has different projectile patterns he can shoot out. Elo's goal was to get a 2-cycle fight completion, but it often wasn't possible, even with good execution. The Heatman works just like he did the first time, but only has 4 spots for the phase instead of 13. The execution on some of these fights is tough too, especially quick, air, and wood. So, Elo just had to do his best, and hope his RNG and execution was good enough to keep the run alive.
Oh, I got screwed. You have no idea what I'm doing. I haven't even seen Major Iron.
It wasn't over. The refights weren't great, but Elo was only a second behind overall. with a really good zip and fast alien kill, you can save up to 2 seconds on the last split.
I'm still thinking about it.
Elwo's second record in 2 days. He was now 6 seconds ahead of Cypher, and it
I haven't seen the Guardian in a while.
Elwo still wasn't satisfied. He had aspirations for something bigger. He continued grinding the game off and on for a few months, but was unable to lower the record any further. 26:55 was a really clean run. Maybe he had reached his ultimate goal. But if he was to beat it again, he would be Wily 5. It was possible to save 5.5 seconds on that split alone.
Speak of the devil.
So, he could at least keep it close through Wily 4. He could see the Wily 5. He just in January 2016, Elwood started but managed with a better boss fight.
Holy shit!
Further ahead, with a nearly flawless Wily 1 and 2. He was 3 seconds ahead going into Wily 3. There was potential to lose some time on the Wily 5. He was 14 shots to kill. He'd have to jump up and mash the fire button and kill in the air. He jumps. For about 5 shots per jump, but sometimes it can take 4 jumps or even longer. As we know, Elwood jump killed in Rock history. 7 hits per jump. Theorized and doesn't practice. Never before has someone hit this speed. Elwood just needs to focus on his Wily 5. Instead, he was 3.8 seconds ahead.
Oh my god, the camera zoom makes it impossible for me to get a headshot.
6.8 seconds ahead. This is the chance of a lifetime for Elwood.
I got it, though.
Close it out.
A bow soul plus.
This wasn't just a record, it was the demolition of a video game. After becoming the first runner to get a sub 27, Elo had now become the first and only to get a sub 2650 as well. This wasn't just the best run of Rock Band 2 ever performed. It was one of the strongest world records of any game. Elo himself said that he was done. The community was in awe of what he had accomplished, and nobody would even try. As 2016 continued, the game entered a period of dormancy at the top. People were still running the game, but Elo's skill level was far above the rest. Only 2 runners had a sub 27, and nobody was within 10 seconds of the record. 2017 came around. Still nothing. By this point, Elo's record had stood for over a year. There was just nobody good enough to beat it. Well, nobody who wasn't retired at least. Cypher retired in early 2015 with his 2701. Since then, new strategies have been developed that would allow that time to be significantly faster. If anyone in the community could beat Elo, it would be Cypher. Unfortunately, he wasn't interested in coming back. Cypher had moved on. The community would just have to accept that. Someone else would need to be the one to beat the 2648. Then came AGDQ 2018. That year, a runner named Sinister1 was organizing a relay race of Mega Man 1 through 3 for Awesome Games WA. and he really wanted Cypher to win. He hadn't ran into him for years. This is a hugely important part of the game's history. Cypher resisted. He was done with speedrunning and had no interest in returning. But Sinister kept pushing. And finally, after having time to consider it, Cypher agreed to play the game. He had 3 years of rust to shake off. It was hard to say how well his skills would translate after such a long time off. He learned the new strategies and built up his consistency with all the game's tricks. After weeks of diligent practice, race day finally arrived. And to give you an idea of how the event went, going into Mega Man 2, Cypher's team was in last place with 4 teams. 48 minutes later, his team went into Mega Man 3 with the lead. Cypher had single-handedly taken his team from last to first place, and largely thanks to his performance, they would go on to win the race. Cypher's skill was still clearly all there. He hadn't lost anything in his 3 years of retirement. And when combining his abilities with the developments that had been made, who knew what his limits could be? So, roughly 40 months after his last session of world record attempts, Cypher decided he was going to make one more push for the record. The road was going to be tough. Cypher had achieved 26:59 in preparation for the relay race, but he was still 11 seconds behind Elo. While that was good for second place, it seemed like he still had a long way to go. But suddenly, in late January 2018, Cypher would find himself on world record pace late into a run. After a fantastic 8 robot stages and a big time save on Wily 5, he was 2 seconds ahead of Elo for Wily 6. There are 2 steps to the last stage. First, you need to get the zip and enter the boss room. Mission perfectly accomplished. Step 2. Fight the alien and get a right side kill.
I threw it away at the alien.
The alien fight had gone horribly wrong. He took damage too early and got turned around multiple times over the match. It cost him the record, but he still did get a decent victory out of it. It was okay. He had already gotten a record pace run. The world record was right around the corner. Cypher continued doing attempts, now just 5 seconds away from the record. Strangely, despite being right there, he found himself unable to take the remaining time off his personal best. He was getting runs deep, but the combination of Wily 4, 5, and 6 were able to shut it down every time. Even though Cypher put on record, closing it out in the last 3 stages is really tough. The attempts continued, but Cypher's personal best stayed put. The time he had sunk into the game was adding up, and he wasn't getting the returns he wanted. He had come out of retirement for a record grind, but while the grind was certainly real, the record was nowhere to be found. And all the while, Cypher felt like he was neglecting something. Perhaps it's best to let him explain it.
Around that time, I was trying to break into the tech industry as a software engineer. I needed to find a job. So during this time, I was looking for jobs, and in my spare time, I was working on Mega Man 2. I did about a month of serious grinding, and then I had decided the Mega Man 2 grind is simply too distracting. Like, I'm not doing as much work as I would like to be on the job search, and I feel like I need to put down the Mega Man 2. And I decided I just picked a weekend, and I told myself, alright, I'm going to do attempts up until this, and if it doesn't happen, then it just doesn't happen, and I need to buckle down for the job.
So, he had a deadline. the first weekend of February. It quickly approached, and Cypher poured in attempts to try and get the record.
I think I had a 9-hour stream and then an 11-hour stream on Saturday and Sunday. And they were like, I never do attempt sessions that long. Those were marathon attempt sessions. I was probably, I mean, the play quality was probably not that great across both of those sessions just because I was going much harder than I would have done otherwise for a normal attempt session. But yeah, that's how it was.
And by the end of it all, no new record. Cypher's deadline had come and gone, and Elo's 2648 was still on top. It was time to give up the record run. But he decided to give himself one more chance before throwing in the towel. On that Monday, he decided to participate in one last speedrunning event. One that was organized by Sinister One, the same guy who initially got Cypher back into the grind with HD relays. This event is called Chase for the Record.
Hello and welcome everybody. This is Chase for the Record, Rockman 2. Yeah, quite a show. So Chase for the Record is an online competition where you'll take typically the best 4 players in the game that is highly competitive at a moment in time and get all of them to play at the same time, to do attempts at the same time, and then you can kind of show like who's actually in a good place and hopefully see the world record during the attempts, which is generally about a 3-hour window.
This event would feature 4 competitors. Cypher and Elo were the first 2, the former and current world record holders. The third was Zoda, a promising runner whose best time was in the low 27s. And the fourth was Cool Kid, but you might know him better as the Big Boy. He had changed his username and started running Rockman 2 seriously, and had driven his time all the way down to 26:56, a legitimate world record contender. This was going to be Cypher's last chance. 3 hours to get it done. But the odds of him actually pulling this off weren't great.
I think Cypher was hoping for big things, but realistically, you can't expect 3-hour period in a game of such a high level of difficulty that you can actually get the record. The odds are very low. They're not in your favor.
It was my last day,
Atari's glowing.
and it would have been a sort of historic moment where it would be the first time anyone ever set a record during an event like this.
So in the beginning of the event, typically you want to kind of introduce the game to the audience. So we have them doing no reset on just 4-way race. Nice match there. We'll get it off. It's like 27-28. Wow. And then we're on to the attempts. Cypher has moved on. He is in the heat game at the moment, and Zoda right at the attempts.
I'm not sure I've ever been as focused on anything in my life.
Cypher set up his first stage.
I got 3 hours. I'm gonna try my best to make it happen, and whatever happens.
Oh boy.
He gets the one way, and that's probably the most favorable happen.
Pretty quickly, I got a run to the game, and I got a run to Wiley too. That was on good pace. I'm pretty sure it was on record pace.
Oh no! He didn't go far enough to the right. That's oh man, he was like 1 pixel away, and he stopped.
I was a little disappointed, but I was like,
Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Immediately into another run. I was very accepting of the probable outcome that I would set a record on that show.
Give up.
This
Thank
Cool Kid
you.
makes his way into what many think is the most dangerous stage in the game. Wily 4, Purple Hell. Cool Kid managed to get on a run, and he actually got this really
I was just not paying attention to anything else happening in the event. I was not listening to the commentary. I'm not sure I even knew that Cool Kid got a PB. Someone may have mentioned it in my chat.
is on the heat.
past an early game, Gauntlet, Air and Clash. I got past the Biggie Special. Once you get past the Biggie Special and you start with Clash, then you have a real run.
He's a good here yet again.
And then I realized I got another run for Wily stages within half an hour after losing that Wily 2 case. Like, I'm just playing out of my mind.
He's got to be thinking about what happened last time in Wily 2 here, so hopefully he's able to get some setup. Okay, that one is good. That one is definitely good.
Base, Wily 4, this has been the base set.
This is it. So the difficulty of Wily 4 is that you really have to draw on all the disciplines that you have in Rockman 2. You have horizontal zips, you have vertical zips, you have item trade-offs, you have a door crash that you have to do. Everything has to come together in this one stage where it's very high pressure.
I kept just playing well and not losing anywhere. And Wily 4 happens, went well.
Maintain his pace, but that's a 45, so he is on world record pace going into refights. So going in Wily 5, you knew Cypher was on a good pace. We didn't know his exact pace because it's the way commentators have things set up, we can't really see their splits. So we knew he's ahead, but not by how much. He goes air first, which can really go badly if you don't get a good pattern, and he got a decent pattern. Okay, there's a chance here.
Where he's getting a really nice fight so far.
Oh yeah, this is good. Once he got past Quick and Unbound, this is probably gonna be it.
This could be world record right here, right now. On Chase record.
I just need to do this zip, and I need to mash down the alien, and then I'll be able to achieve this thing that I would just be a massive, massive moment and accomplishment.
Oh, that's good, that's good. He's in there, that's good. He just has the map.
It was a truly important moment.
Then easy.
I was just overwhelmed with emotion. I can't describe it any other way.
He saw that, not only is this record, but this is record by a significant amount. I was just, he had done this, and, this is your last time that you're actually going to be running the game. It's now or never.
I was just overwhelmed with emotion, and I just started crying.
Really?
The run would be retimed to 26:42, beating Elo by 6 seconds. And Cypher could finally take his well-deserved ring. At the end of the day, he just can't keep Cypher from Rockman 2. He spent the next 2 weeks on other teams, but Rockman 2 was still calling his name. Sure enough, by March, he was back to doing record attempts. But this time, he wasn't alone. Cool Kid had driven his PB all the way down to 26:47, good for second place, and he was coming for the top spot. Cypher and Cool Kid were in a race for the next world record.
I want to be.
They have new strategies to help. A high-level runner.
Give me a key.
First, there was the Clash maneuver. By jumping and shooting left at the start of the fight, you can guarantee a 2-shot quick kill to save you some time. Second, Frizzy rediscovered he could use item 3 to jump through the floor and Wily 4 to save time. This had been done in runs years ago, but Frizzy found that he could vertical route, still in time. There had also been a new strategy discovered in the off as a 26:41. Still a small world record, but Cypher couldn't help but be disappointed. This run wasn't what it could have been. It had the potential for a 26:3x time, a time that would have seemingly put the record out of reach. A time that he had theorized with Elo years prior for the absolute limits of the category. One mistake in Wily 5 that did it all.
This is it. I need a decent parts.
This was the record Cypher had been looking for. It was a solid run for Wily 4. He lost a little bit of time on the Airman and Quickman fights in their respective stages, but he knew he had time to save Wily 5, and he saved 7 seconds. It put him well in the 46-3x range, and he closed it out with a 26-37. As it turned out, this was good enough for Cypher to end the grind. He stopped playing the game, and his record was far ahead of everyone else. Well, at least for a little while, because just a few weeks later, Cool Kid was on his way. His time was down to 26:43, still 6 seconds from Cypher, but it was closing in quickly. See, Cool Kid wasn't just any speedrunner. He was also the Mega Man 1 record holder, a title he had held off and on for more than 3 years. It made sense that he would one day hold the Mega Man 2 record as well, but he had a really tough world record to beat, 26:37. On May 7th, Cool Kid got on a run that had a below-average He-Man pattern, meaning he'd have some time to make up. He'd save a bit from a faster air fight, then saved a couple in quick from a frame-perfect zip. By triggering it on the first frame possible, Mega Man only gets pushed up 1 tile instead of 2. He quickly zipped through the Lost Corridor as well. Just about the only substantial mistake through the 8 robots was missing the initial item 1 placement on the Quickman side. Going into Wily 6, he was about a second behind the record. If he could perfectly crash the door on the zip, he might just barely be able to get this.
Oh my god. This might go like it, right?
The run would be retimed to a 26:37.00, beating the record by 10 frames. Cypher's massive world record had only been standing for about 4 weeks, and more than 6 years after his initial big discovery, it had become. And then, everything went silent. The first time in months, there was no active competition for Rockman 2's world record. Cypher had moved on, Cool Kid had moved on, and nobody else was within striking distance. So, the record stood. It stood for years. For the rest of 2018, all of 2019, and all of 2020, Cool Kid's 26:37 stayed put as the world record. No rivals, no contenders, nobody could compare up to 26:37's in top spots. But then, in early 2021, guess who came back to run the game?
Look what you just said.
Although he hadn't done serious record attempts in several years, Elo started up the grind again in January 2021. It had been so long. Could he still compete with the time set by Cypher and Cool Kid? Well, he quickly got a 2-second personal best. Then he took another 2 seconds off. Then another. Now down to 26:42, Elo was quickly honing in on the world record. It all came to a head on March 26, 2021. Elo got on a run that gained time early, but bled a bit going into the Wily stages. Entering Wily 3, he was about 2 seconds ahead. This was a serious chance at a sub 26:40, but given that his best possible time from here was at 26:34, it actually still had an outside shot at the world record. This was a small, but possible chance to jump straight to the record.
Whoa, my power almost just went out. Oh my god, my TV's off. I'm not even kidding. What the? My power just massively flickered and my TV looks completely... I'm not even kidding. All the colors just went... I still... Whoa, did it again. And the power. Are you serious?
Elo would continue doing runs for a few weeks, but he'd never take his personal best under 26:42. To this day, that's where his best time stands. He's still considered one of the best to ever play the game, but it remains to be seen if he'll ever take the record again. However, it wouldn't take long for there to be more competition at the top level. Because just a few months later, Cypher would return to the game. A big reason why Cypher and Elo came back in 2021 was a new, faster way to play the Wily stages. It was first found in a task from 2015, but was rediscovered by Shinryu in 2020. You start by using item 2 on Wily 3 instead of Wily 1, which is still pretty fast, but saves a bit of item 2 ammo. This allows you to fly through Wily 4 spike screens. On the first, you want to wait until you take damage, then use item 2 on the next screen to avoid having to wait for the conveyor. On screen 3, you can place item 2 at the top and quickly make it to the other side. Altogether, this saves about 2.5 seconds, but it is quite a bit more difficult than the full route. There was also a new zip in Wily 3 that saved a bit over a second, and a runner named Envy had a new setup for the dog scrolls that made them more consistent in exchange for small time limits. All these strategies were enough to make Cypher come back. He knew the record could go under 26:37, but just how far was unclear. He grinded for months. But on July 10th, he'd have a run that fell behind the world record early. A bad airman pattern, slow execution of Biggie, and no frame per quick. He saved it all back and more in the Wily stages. Wily 3 zip, the Wily 4 route, it all combined to save him several seconds. For the 6th time, he had set the Rockman 2 world record. You know something interesting about Cypher? Despite being one of the best to ever play the game, the longest any of his previous 5 records ever stood was 4 months. He was often the first to break a long-lasting record, but for each and every world record he set, someone else would beat him shortly after. 26:34 was a nice improvement. It wasn't perfect. He did lose a lot of time early on. There was only one way for Cypher to guarantee he would beat him. In a perfect run.
Don't tell me to pace him on, please.
Cypher was set up to get the game's biggest record cut in 8 years. But he went for an extremely quick kill on the alien that's far harder to execute than normal. It was supposed to look like this. It would have been his ultimate run. It would have been the culmination of a nearly decade-long journey.
You're finally
Wasn't meant to be.
awake.
And to this day, he's still searching for it.
It has been
As for his
quite a
fastest
long
completed
time,
run,
Link.
is
I am
26:34.
much
It would go on
older
to be
now.
Cypher's longest-standing world record.
You remember
He
me,
remained on top
don't
for
you?
7 months, but it's not where the world record stands today. That honor goes to on February 3rd, 2022, Kid set the game's current world record. It got off to a great start with a fast airman fight and Queen Clashman stage. And from there to the finish, it continued on a steady pace, never pulling way ahead of the record, but also avoiding any catastrophes. He lost a bit in Wily 2 for picking up help, and had to wiggle a bit in Wily 6.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's fast enough.
It was fast enough, kid. To this day, this run remains as the world record. As far as this game has come, its future is still wide open. A sub 2630 is on its way, but as players improve and new strategies are developed, even lower times will become possible. Kid and Cypher are the two most likely to take it there, but who knows who may come along in the future. There's certainly a lot of possibilities. The top 8 runs on the leaderboard are each from a different country. Regardless, this game still has a long history yet to be written. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.